Begin with, we have this concept of the people from other planets as little green men. Are they green from what you know? Are they all the same?
Unfortunately, they're not so benevolent.
A fucking alien.
What's good? Welcome here, 51 here with your host Jimmy. Another day in the jungle. Give us a like, subscribe, and also become part of our community here in Golden Hour Boxing, where you're going to learn about stories that are going on in the boxing world, and give us a like and subscribe. All right, so let's get to the point. So apparently Errol Spence is getting criticized, and let me read some of these tweets that Errol Spence was responding to. So this guy called Chewy said, 2 fights in 3 years and 7 months. Vacate the belts if you ain't fighting. And Errol Spence said, strip me. So the fans are starting to catch on this, okay? He doesn't fight enough. And this is a common denominator for a lot of fighters, especially when they're doing financially well. Now, I've always not follow the overhype of Errol Spence. Anything that surrounds Errol Spence, I feel like it was overhyped. I've never gone into that myself. I always thought, me personally, that he didn't want to fight with Terence Crawford, and he's gonna have to get a fight with Terence Crawford. And I don't think he's ever wanted that fight since the days of Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao when they both fight. I remember Terence Crawford blew the horns out of Jeff, and then what happened was that Errol Spence was not calling Jeff Horn anymore as he did when he saw Crawford there. And I knew back then that there was something strange about that, because Keith Thurman and Errol Spence didn't want Terence Crawford. But it's true. I mean, people, 2 years and 7 months, that's only fighting a few times. I mean, it's not breaking bread with a lot of people. And he's saying, well, I got in this accident and XYZ. I understand, but at the end of the day, boxing fans want to see the best fights. Right now, we have a bunch of fights that are being made. We got Teofimo Lopez, who's fighting Josh Taylor. I think that's a good fight. We're also going to see Basil Lomachenko versus Devin Haney. We got Stefan Fulton versus Naoya Inoue. We're going to see Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. We're going to see all these excellent fights, and you are not making any fights. In fact, the rumor that you even wanted to fight with Keith Thurman was already a standoff for a lot of fans, because you're supposed to become an undisputed champion if you really just believe that you are the best fighter in the division. But you're not going to be able to showcase that unless you're fighting against Terence Crawford. And you must fight Terence Crawford to show that you are the supreme leader in that division, the undisputed champion. But right now, a lot of people are starting to catch up with things that I saw back in the day. And a lot of people were criticizing Crawford, but I'm saying, Errol Spence fought Lamont Peterson, in his way out. Carlos Ocampo, why was he fighting him? He was garbage. Danny Garcia, was a small welter. Everybody was beating Danny Garcia at one point. Some of the fights that he was... Mikey, why fight Mikey? Why not fight Terence Crawford? What makes Mikey so special? Is Mikey better than Terence Crawford? Oh, he draws more of a crowd, but that doesn't really mean anything, because the black fans are going to buy... We all know who Terence Crawford is. You see, there's some people who know who Mikey is, but Mikey disappeared for a little bit from the scene, and then he came back and he started to catch on. But Terence Crawford, everybody knows Terence Crawford worldwide, especially in the boxing world. They know Terence Crawford, and I just don't think that this man wanted that fight. And you can see right away with some of the things that Errol Spence was doing and saying that he just didn't want the fight. In the contract, who gives a shitty fucking contract like that? You're with PBC. They're supposed to be a rich promotorial company, okay? And you can't even guarantee a 35% purse. Then you don't have no transparency. in you don't even have transparency in the contract of the things you can spend, your expenditures, which is very important in any contract, because you could get, I mean, you could start spending a lot of shit and put in somebody else's bill. There's no transparency for that. You're giving him 35%. I mean, what do you want, man? He left top rank. You said you couldn't negotiate with Bahrain, so he left top rank. So he'll be okay. He tried to make it and say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it with BLK, 20 million guarantee each plus pay-per-views, whatever. No, I'm not doing that. I'm doing it with PBC. By the way, even if they pay me 100 million, he said in an interview, I wouldn't even jump. I won't even make a fight without PBC. So you're basically saying that PBC, you are stalling the fight using PBC as a scapegoat. That's how I see it. Okay? And people are catching on to this. And some of the responses he was getting, he was really protective. He was getting protective because he knows that it's not what us as boxing fans want to see. Now, if you're a commercial fan, if you're that sort of garbage fan that's going by A side and B side, you're not doing what old school boxers used to do. Just make the fight happen. But if you're going by that A side, B side, Fleming with the garbage, then of course, you know, you can always make an excuse, because you think, or you know, they're not going to make too much. But bro, everybody's going to watch that fight, man. Everybody's going to watch Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence. But even if he didn't fight Terence Crawford, which would be a huge mistake for his career, is he going to defend his titles with Jaron Ennis, who's mandatory? Nope, he won't do that. I tell you, he's not going to do that. And Jaron Ennis wants him, and he's the mandatory for Jaron Ennis. So why not fight Jaron Ennis? Why not do that fight? This is the problem with boxing. The most important thing is unification. That's the only way where we can see one undisputed champion. That's it. Everything else doesn't make any sense. I've been saying this for decades, bro. If there's no undisputed, there's no way to know who the best is. You can have 3 belts and the other one person has 1 belt. It doesn't mean shit. Usyk has 3 belts. Tyson Fury has 1 belt. But we don't know who's going to be the best one out of the 2. The one that cleans his division. You got to clean it up. It's the same with Dimitri Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev. We got Dimitri Bivol has 1 belt, if I'm not mistaken. And then Arthur Beterbiev has, what does he got, like 3 belts or 2 belts? Either way, I think he has 3, but I could be mistaken. We're not going to know who the best is till they fight each other. So he's kind of wasting his legacy by playing these games. If Errol Spence is really the A side, okay? Let's just think about this real quick. Let's just go by this stupid notion of A side. Then he can make the fight because he's the supreme leader. He can make the fight happen. Let's fight. Let's just do this. You want 35%? I'll give you the 35%. I'll guarantee you your stupid contract, whatever. I'm the big boss. I will make it under my terms, but I'm going to also be just with you. You know, I'm going to be fair with you. He's the A side, right? If I'm in charge and I know somebody there and that's like the most important fight of my life, and I know that's going to, you know, be part of my legacy. Okay, I'm not want to pay him 50-50. I think should be fair, but in this case, but okay, you know what? 40-60. Yes, I'm guaranteeing you the contract. They will be. We will deal with it legally in a way where you're not gonna get fucked over. But let's just make the fight happen. You want the more money, right? You want the most money. What's stalling you from doing that? It's himself. I don't believe Errol Spence believes that he can beat Terence Crawford. That's just my opinion. I don't think he believes it. And people are getting upset because he's not even communicating or saying anything in Twitter. It's Terence Crawford who's doing all the talking, which means that Terence is trying to be open and Errol Spence is quiet, not doing shit. We should already have this fight announced. We don't have to wait, supposedly, after Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia to make this fight announced. Why wait so much? I mean, I don't know, man. It's people are getting upset with Errol Spence. And you look and see some of the responses here, which is very interesting. And look at this. Marv the Gray says, he's right though. You're never active. Yeah, let me know how active you'll be getting ejected out of a car. Whenever I come back, won't be a tune-up. Okay, whenever I come back, won't be a tune-up. Okay. I don't know, man. You wanted Manny Pacquiao. You know, you wanted Manny Pacquiao. It's still not a better fight than who Manny Pacquiao also avoided, you know, this guy, Terence Crawford. Anyway, I don't know, man. People are getting upset with him, and you can see people are just starting not to be happy with him. And then this guy says, "You the only one to blame for the car crash." Duh. Anyway, it is what it is. I think the show is falling off. You can clearly say that this guy doesn't want to fight. And if Terence Crawford is getting Alexis Rocha, it's because neither of the fighters in PBC wanted to make that fight. Virgil Ortiz, he's not with PBC, but he didn't want that fight. Jaron Ennis didn't want that fight. Okay? He rejected the fight. Keith Thurman doesn't want Terence Crawford. He's never wanted Terence Crawford. Jordani Sugas didn't want Terence Crawford. He could have unified, but he'd rather take on Spence. Manny Pacquiao didn't want Terence Crawford. Danny Garcia didn't want Terence Crawford. I mean, and this is the sport of boxing. If they believe they're gonna get their ass whipped, they don't want to take the challenge, and they'll ruin your career. And that's pretty much what's happening with a lot of fighters who are really good. Just like Tyson Fury trying to duck Alexander Usyk. You know? Oh, he's a bum. Right, we'll fight him. Show him you're a bum. Show him he's a bum. Right? Anyway, that's my opinion. Give us a like here, subscribe, and also become part of GoldenEyeBoxing.com for more news and stories. And we'll see you in the next video. Deuces Cruces.